Now, you're ready to scale your dietitian business, but you've got one little problem: customer service. In today's video, I'm going to break down what that looks like. Now, there's 3 key areas for a dietitian to focus on in order to scale your online dietitian business. The first step includes a clear sales process. What that means is you need to be able to articulate the steps that a customer takes when they make a purchase from your product or your service. So each step-by-step process needs to be clearly articulated in documentation, but more so there needs to be a clear journey and you're aware of the decisions people make and when they make those decisions and what they do. So if we're talking about somebody making a sale from purchasing a link from a sales page, then you're going to want to document what are the steps that they take before they get on that sales page, and what are the steps that they take once they make that purchase. So the sales process includes when they make the purchase, then what happens after. Or if you require a sales call for someone to make a purchase, and then you send them an invoice, you collect payment over the phone, that needs to be documented in addition to the steps after they make the sale so that you're really clear with the entire process. If that requires a team, if that requires email sequences, whatever is included in that process, that needs to be clearly documented and understood. And if you have multiple ways people buy from you with multiple products, then you need to have that clearly articulated as well. Without being clear about what this looks like and what the process is, without standardization in your online dietitian business, you won't be able to scale. Really focusing on the product. What is it that you're selling and how can you improve that product to create a better experience? You also have to think about the price of your product, meaning what you're selling, and how you're promoting that product. Where is that product distributed? Is it online? How are you promoting that product through different channels, and what channels are you using in your marketing efforts? So having a strategy in place with results that are documented and a clear understanding of what's working and what's not working is going to help you scale. Now, as you know, you can't scale a solo practice, but what you can do is get really clear with how your solo practice works and hire dietitians under you, and you can definitely scale that, because what that means, you hire multiple dietitians and you pay them and they can see more customers. And in order for you to do that, you're going to need to have a really clear marketing process. You're going to need to double down on the amount of leads that you get, and going back to that sales process, how are you making a sale? What are the steps? What does that look like? And how does that look standardized so that you can repeat that process? When it comes to marketing, you're going to need really robust efforts and a strategy that's going to be getting you a lot more results than you had before. So if you need, let's say, 100 customers, and you know your marketing efforts need to look a certain way to yield 100 customers, then you're going to need to put in a lot more inputs in order to get the amount of customers that you need. So you're going to want to think about increasing to different marketing channels, thinking about what's the most effective marketing channel and how can you double down on that. And that strategy needs to be documented so that you can repeat it. And then social media goes without saying, because if you're a business looking to scale, well, it's almost impossible to scale without social media. Because if you say, I don't need to be on social media in my online dietitian business, well, competitors who offer a similar product or service, well, they're going to be on social media. And if they stand out and pop up for whatever service or product they're solving for in their business, and you don't, then they have an advantage over you. Additionally, you have a wider reach when you're using social media. So it's a great way for you to increase your marketing efforts so that you have the chance of acquiring more customers. So you're going to need a robust strategy that can double, triple, 10x what you're already doing. But most importantly, you're going to need to understand what works and what doesn't. And you'll only be able to do that if you have documentation. The last step in scaling your online dietitian business would be operations and fulfillment. Now, I say this one for last, and this has to do a lot with customer service. Operations can include anything from tracking metrics to the processes you have in place, to the back end of your business, how things work, what system you're using, what steps you're taking, how you're organizing your information on the internet, what practice management tools you're using or not using, what email service provider, etc. And fulfillment means how you're delivering that service. Even if you're selling, let's say, a product like a course, there's still a fulfillment piece because you have to fulfill that order. Meaning, what is it that you do? What steps is your business taking to deliver on the product that people purchased, product or service? So if it's coaching, that would be delivering the coaching sessions in between support communication, check-in calls, etc. And if it would be something like a course or any kind of digital product, then you need to have those digital assets available and make sure there's clear communication over how your client can access that material. So here's where customer service comes in. When you have a higher volume of clients, you're going to need to have more robust processes, and you're going to need to have not only a reasonable response time to solve people's problems, but you're going to have a wider variety of problems. You also might have an increased amount of complaints by a sheer number of increased people that are going through your product or service. So it's really important at this stage in the business, if you're looking to scale your online dietitian business, that you have a customer service system in place. That means processes, a person, and then you're prioritizing customer service. Now, a lot of businesses do not prioritize customer service, and then if customers don't feel seen or heard, or like their situations are important or unique to you and your business, they're going to tell other people that you didn't do a good job fulfilling their needs, and that's not good for business. So in order to have a good reputation and really help customers, you want to have processes in place. Now, there's some nuance here, because you are running a business, and I'm not saying that anytime someone has a small complaint, you have to bend over backwards, but you do need to have processes, clear processes in place. So let's say if you are having somebody in a coaching communication not show up, and your contract clearly says that they will forfeit the call if they don't show up, then you have to go back to that policy and reference that. But there are times where you might make some exceptions. So you want to be able to have clear systems in place. You want to make sure that you haven't forgotten about putting a person in charge or having somebody responsible for customer service. And at least in our team, we prioritize that. So for all of our team meetings, the first thing we always discuss is anything fulfillment related, meaning how are our customers doing? How can we mitigate complaints? What can we do to improve our systems or get better systems in place? And we have had full-time staff in place to support that with robust documentation. And we're constantly making efforts to improve in this area, because we know it's so important when it comes to scaling. Now, to go into operations a little bit more, because I feel like that's something a lot of dietitians in online business are not aware of, I want to break this down. Operations includes process, human resources, like hiring, training, and mentoring, technology, like the systems that you're using online, automations, like what happens when somebody makes a purchase or receives an email or a free guide that you have put out on the internet for them to download so that they are able to join your email list, and customer service, right? And in today's video, I'm prioritizing customer service because I don't think it gets enough attention. And when I grew my business and when I started scaling Dietitian Boss, that was an area that I had the least amount of experience in an online business and working with a medium-sized team. So it's something that I have a lot of firsthand experience in. And as dietitians, we weren't trained with how to prioritize customer service with respect to managing customer service when scaling your online dietitian business. The last point is fulfillment. Again, that means fulfilling the service or product that somebody has purchased. I know that there's a lot of emphasis in the world of business and scaling where there's a lot of prioritization put into the promotion, right? It's all about promoting and getting new clients. And where that is important, the fulfillment piece, meaning giving a great experience to your customer, is actually a very underrepresented aspect of the journey, of the business journey, when it comes to providing an exquisite, excellent, over-the-top amazing experience for your customers and for the livelihood of your business. So the textbook definition means the process of ensuring that all necessary steps are taken in order to deliver the paid product or service. That's what fulfillment means. So efficient order fulfillment is key to your brand's reputation and to your company's profits and your ability to retain clients, because it's much cheaper for you as a business owner, as an online dietitian business owner, to retain existing customers than it is to go find new ones. So the more you can give a great experience and have people want to stay with you, well, the better. So without sales, there is no business. And without order fulfillment, meaning you're fulfilling what you have sold, then there aren't any sales. So remember that fulfilling the service or product that they've purchased is really important, especially doing so with a lot of energy and effort. And we've spent a ton of energy and effort improving our program and products, getting the feedback, and making adjustments to meet the demands and the needs of our clients. And we role model that for you as well. So what you want to think about are the deliverables. What is it that you promised your customers that you sell them once they make that purchase? Whatever those deliverables are, for example, number of calls that they've purchased, or the length and robustness of the modules. Maybe you in your modules have promised them workbooks, or that they would have a certain learning outcome and there are objectives, meaning that there are particular markers that they'll be able to learn and grasp, that you'll be able to teach them once they are able to watch the content that you have delivered to them over the internet. So I want to ask you, what processes, documented processes, do you have in place for the deliverables that you're selling and for the customer service that you're delivering? Now, what I mean by that would be frequently asked questions, refund policy, pause requests, unhappy customers, customers who want extensions, customers who don't show up to their calls, customers who are hard to get a hold of. All those situations, those are pretty standard. So you want to ask yourself, what do you have written down for you to do as a standard, so that you're being really standardized in your business? Because a standardized business that operates within a set of rules can scale. And a business that just does what they feel like at the moment, well, that's not good service, because you're not giving standardized care. And that means that you're actually practicing favoritism. And that's definitely not good. You don't want to do that. You also want to document improvements needed. So we have an entire sheet for documentation, and then we review if there's a trend and somebody's asking for something in particular. Maybe they want an additional call, or maybe there's a particular learning topic that hasn't been addressed enough. We can look over that sheet, program sheet, and see what needs to be added to our, let's say, library, our membership library. So if you're looking to scale, but you want to hire your first employee, I have a free guide below that I've listed that you can grab and download, and that'll give you a lot of great information so that you're feeling more confident in saving time and making those hires so that you can scale your online dietitian business with more success. Now, if you like this video, I want you to watch this next video on screen.